Hey, what's up, everyone? It's your boy Darkpool Algo, and thanks for joining me on another weekend watch list recap. Right, today is Saturday, February 12th, 2022, and the market went crazy last week. Oh, wow, what a crazy market. So there was chop all over the place. It became a chop fest. There was ups and downs. There's an opportunity for us to start a new trend, but we didn't quite make it. Pretty nasty pullbacks across the board. CPI numbers really did a number on the market. Based on those numbers, a lot of banks are starting to say to kind of readjust their position. There is an emergency Fed meeting on Monday, Valentine's Day, February 14th. Bullard should be in there. That's going to definitely affect the market. So just going into next week, I want y'all to be very careful, stay safe, stay green. If you're unsure what to do, it's okay to sit back and learn. Maybe take a starter or a feeler position to kind of understand, what's happening with the market and how it's going to move. One other thing you can also do is you can trade equities, meaning you can buy stocks and sell stocks. We do a lot of options trading here, and options are super volatile, especially in a choppy market. It's really hard to not hard to make money, but it's just a little bit more difficult. I'm going to start trading equities specifically on Fridays, which means that I will look at some stocks to trade. Usually I'll try to make $1 or $2 per share. And then that's just it. Fridays have become not super fun for options for me. And so I'm going to change my strategy to trade equities. So look for some equity trades on Fridays. If that's something you're interested in, hit me up in the comment section below. And if this is your first time here, welcome, friends. Yeah, and just welcome. Take a second, go ahead and click that like button and subscribe and turn on notifications. That way you get notified anytime we put out a new video. And if you haven't already joined us for the live stream, we live stream every morning, Monday through Friday, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. For about an hour and a half, we go over current news and events, any sort of earnings plays. We also look at the we look at the market as a whole, looking at ES, the NQ, the Dow, the Russell, crude, gold, bonds, etc. That way we get an idea of how the market's going to run. So with no further intros from me, real quick intro, we'll jump right into it. We'll recap our top 4 stocks for last week. So see you in a second. All right, welcome back. So our top 4 stocks for last week that are sent out on our weekend watch list newsletter that you can sign up for at darkpoolcharts.com. Click on free newsletter, go through the sign up process. It's free, 50 free. Yeah, it's super easy. We get one of these delivered out to you every Sunday. It's a little bit deeper dive than we do on Twitter, and it's pretty interesting. We give you some nice graphics, right? There's some downloads. We get to be able to download our screenshots that we have with this. I'll have to fix that little link right there. It should be popping up. But then we go over our top 4 to 5 stocks. Last week it was XLNX, Qualcomm, Etsy, Qualcomm, and QDEL, right? Those were the top 4 stocks for last week. So I'm going to go ahead and move this over here, and we will hop right in to those stocks. We're going to look at the FLOWTRADE perspective of them first. We'll do the 4 chart layout here so that we can see if there's any of those divergences that have played out and to which direction they played out. Okay, so our first stock was XLNX. The second stock on our list was, I'm missing a meeting right now. Oh no. Etsy. Followed up by Qualcomm. And then finally QDEL. QDEL. Okay. Make sure across the board here. Okay, so it looks like XLNX divergence played out. Qualcomm divergence played out. QDEL is still kind of trading with Flow Index, and Etsy. I'll make sure you get on the right time frame here. It looks like the Etsy divergence played out as well. We had bullish divergence on Etsy. Okay, so Etsy. Let's start with Etsy. Let me just read what we wrote here, and we'll look at this chart here for Etsy. All right, Etsy had pulled back to -2 ATR and was looking very heavy below the 250, the 50 and the 200 SMA. Very interested to see if the SM50 SMA bounces. So coming into this week, right? Friday was the 4th, coming into this week. 50 bounce support the Keltner channels had us just below the 4-hour bottom, which was here. And we're looking to either retest or break into the 4-hour daily bottom, which we did. And we actually rose from 4-hour bottom to 4-hour top, daily bottom up to the daily mid, right? And we ended up closing on Friday at the 4-hour mid. So overall, we made a series of higher lows and higher highs. It was a little choppy, but Etsy definitely could have been a decent play if you would have joined us for this. Let's see. Here we go. So we were here. So we entered here, right? A little pull up to the 4-hour mid, pulled back, held support on the daily bottom. It would have took an entry there and played it up through to the daily mid. Anytime I have an opportunity to play the bigger time frame support channels, I do. Obviously, a daily Keltner channel support is a little bit more secure than a 4-hour, and knowing that we had 4-houred and coming up to test the 4-hour mid on that break of 4-hour mid, right it to the 4-hour top. The position was still, the trade was still valid, right? We didn't invalidate the trade at all. We didn't, break down below the 4-hour cloud, and we actually continued up to the daily mid. So that move was $14.45 or 10.79%. We're definitely going to call it the Etsy trade a winner, winner, chicken dinner. As we progress in the channel this year, I'm going to have some pretty cool graphics created. Maybe I'll do some catchphrases like winner, winner, chicken dinner, and there'll be a cool little graphic that appears right here of like a chicken clucking or something like that, right? Oh, who knows? All right, next up on our list was Qualcomm. I'm going to go ahead and look at Qualcomm on the FLOWTRADE or the Flow Index. All right, Qualcomm, let's see, we would have entered here. We were looking at bearish divergence where the flow index was pulling price action down with it, right? As you can see here, divergence occurred at approximately this point. We were in here, right? So that divergence played out. We had an additional divergence created throughout the week at that 174 level. What happened? Price action found resistance right at that dark pool level. I always try to show dark pool levels as they're coming through, and this is why. This price action came right up to the exact dark pool level and reversed from there and actually gave us a complete bearish divergence play out, right? From 184 all the way down to 164. That's a 20-point drop. Qualcomm, we had up on our list. We were looking at it for, Qualcomm. We're trading just above the daily 21 and 50 after a nice earnings last week. Look for continuation or maybe a pullback. So we were trading above, right? We're above the 21. However, we're trading right here at the 4-hour Keltner channel mid, right? So it has support has just above the 4-hour mid. If we fail, we would move to the bottom, which we did here, right? And we'd also move down to the monthly cloud, which is what we were in. So I don't know if I can show you this or not. This 4-hour mid, right? We failed that. We came down to the bottom of the monthly cloud, broke below that, which is also the daily mid, right? So there's a couple different ways we could have played this. We could have played the longer short on the break below the 4-hour mid, knowing that we're going to touch the 4-hour bottom. We could have played the initial fade below the daily mid into the monthly cloud bottom, and then played the retracement back up to the 4-hour top, right? And then played the 4-hour top down to the 4-hour bottom, broke support there, down to the weekly cloud. So there was a couple of different plays with Qualcomm that we took. We did take this monthly support up to 4-hour top for a $7.27 gain, or 4.27 or 12%. We also played the downside, right? When we couldn't get through, right, this 4-hour cloud, right, 4-hour top, we take 4-hour top to the mid support did not hold. We take it to the 4-hour bottom, right? The market at this point in the week was very, very heavy, right? We stay in the trade until it invalidates itself, and that would have been coming down to support of the weekly. Right, you see this, the weekly mid, right? So below the weekly mid is the daily bottom, 160 to 155. So Qualcomm next week below 155, big drop down to 145. Okay, we could find support at 160 and make a little bit of a retrace. Let's see if this works. We could find support at 160 here, which is a weekly mid, retrace to backtest the 4-hour bottom up to the daily mid, monthly cloud top. Right, there's a lot of upside potential. However, we are in a difecta, which means that everything is stacked negatively. We do have a little bit of a MACD curling over, a little bit of a squeeze getting ready to reverse. So there's an opportunity for maybe some quick scalps on Qualcomm, retesting the 4-hour bottom to confirm that it's going to be resistance for a larger move to the downside. Definitely, there was a $19.23 move to the downside that we took advantage of, 10.52% on Qualcomm. So we played it both ways. With this market, we're having opportunities to play the ups and then the longer moves to the downside. Okay, so Qualcomm, definitely a winner, win a chicken dinner. I got to find something. I do like the little catchphrase idea. Next up on our list is QDEL. Now, QDEL was kind of weak. I wasn't super like gung-ho on it. I wasn't like, QDEL's going to rock. And that's because it's just kind of a choppy, little bit of a bullish divergence coming into the week here, where price action was pulling back and the flow index was moving up. So looking back on this, we had stronger bearish divergence down here at this level, which finally that traded out. Trading with price. Looking at it here, we had a little bit of bullish divergence, thinking that it was going to play out. Well, it was actually reversed on us, right? And became bearish. So QDEL, very, very choppy. Probably not one of our greatest picks, but there was an opportunity to play the downside to support, knowing that it was going to reverse back to the point of divergence where the flow index is heading this way. Flow index is heading this way, right? We have price action heading in another direction. We know that at that point of divergence, right, it's got to play out. Price action came back up and met there. Okay, so looking at QDEL on our charts, very, 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 very choppy, right? We had lots of chops in this session. All right, QDEL support would have been at the month or weekly weekly cloud bottom, daily bottom, right? So pretty decent support, trading way below the 21, which is the daily mean, and the 200 is way above price action. So it's very bearish. I'm gonna watch the 50, 200 SMA for a bounce, which it did not do. The 50 crossed down. Support was using the Keltner channels, or the Keltner channels had us right at the 4-hour bottom, right, which was here. And we'd want to move up inside to get us back into the daily cloud bottom. We had a quick pop out of it. It completed its 4-hour cycle, right? Initial pop. No, that was on Friday, and that was the 4th. So we opened, popped up, rejected, breaking out of the cloud, and we just had a downside move, right? We were looking at if we broke the bottom of the weekly cloud, which we barely did here, right? And the daily mid at one, so if we broke the bottom of the weekly cloud, we'd look for initial flush, possible retracement. This is a very, very choppy stock. It's pretty difficult to trade. I was looking for some clean moves like this. I did not trade this last week just because of the chop and interest in other positions. If you did take this trade to the downside, it was, a nice $4.60 move, knowing that from the 4-hour bottom, the next move is to the 4-hour mid. You could have taken the 4-hour bottom to the 4-hour mid, back up, and that would have given you another probably little $5 move here, right? Let's see. $5.88 for 6.3%. QDEL is going to be off my list for a little while. It's not something I want to trade. I didn't like the way it moved, right? It moved very, very, it just didn't move very well. So we're going to do a little bit, we're going to start getting a little bit more versatile in our stock picks for the week. We're going to try to find something from each sector. Okay, so moving on to the next and last one was XLNX. Now, did we get lucky here? Did we get lucky? XLNX had some news about AMD, or is it NVIDIA? I think it was AMD. Yes, AMD acquisition of XLNX, right? So it got all the necessary approvals. So that's one thing we are going to be looking at. XLNX, right, had some bearish divergence. This is what we were looking for, right? We knew that price action was heading in this direction and the flow index was heading in this direction. There was pretty clear as day bearish divergence that a 195, excuse me, 195 was that level. So we were looking for price action to find resistance and reverse down, knowing that it's coming back down to at least 195, because that's where the initial divergence occurred. Looking at XLNX, right? There was two ways we could have played this, knowing that, sorry, let me just read what I wrote here. All right, XLNX, position for continuation after a possible pullback to some key fib levels, right? Here's that pullback we were looking at, and then that continuation on. Support of the color channels has us at the monthly cloud top right here, which is this level of support. We were below the daily cloud, obviously below that, and the weekly cloud. Those would be the upside targets, 215, 220, 225. We did hit those targets. We hit each and every one of them, right? We went from 200, we hit the 215, we hit 220, right? We actually even jumped up and hit 225. So this was a pretty solid move. The reason we were looking at this also, we had some squeezes taking place, ready and fire. We're just getting ready to fire off, right? A continuation on, they did have that news come out with AMD. So this was probably one of our better plays, right off of the 4-hour mid to weekly cloud top. So we were at the daily cloud, right? Chop, 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 through it, back tested the 4-hour mid for support, right? Got in here, $21.69 or 10.45%. Also knowing that there was a bear, the 15-minute algo is bearishly diverged and has been net selling, making lower lows and lower lows, right? A single dark pull at 20 or 2000 or 202.85 was a magnet. It absolutely was. So from the weekly cloud top resistance, right? 4-hour top, next stop is 4-hour mid, right? 4-hour mid happened to be the daily cloud, right? A little bit of a pullback for a larger move to the downside. This is a very bearish play, right? Very easy to see. It's a upside down Elliott. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 4-hour mid to 4-hour bottom. We were also daily cloud, so next would be daily mid. So we did make that entire move. Okay, so we caught the upside and the downside. Downside move was $34 or 15%. This was by far our biggest win. Going into next week with this position, right? We were at the monthly cloud, right? We could continue to backtest this weekly down to here, 188.76. Below 188, it's a pretty far drop to the daily bottom at 175. Okay, it is in a difecta mode. It just completed its third leg of an Elliott wave move. And for those of you who aren't sure or familiar with what the Elliott wave move is, it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 move, right? The 5 is either going to be a short 5 move to the monthly cloud bottom or a longer move down to the daily to complete the Elliott wave move, as well as our Keltner channel move, daily top, daily mid, daily bottom. Okay, so there's an opportunity. XLNX down to 175. Okay, so continuation move. We did note that if we break below that monthly cloud, we have the daily and weekly mid and the monthly cloud bottom at 190. Break that and we drop to the daily bottom at 170-ish. That's still in effect. Below 190, 170 comes in. XLNX should be a pretty decent one into next week. Okay, that's it. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Dark Hole Algo. if you have not signed up for the newsletter yet, go check it out, darkpoolcharts.com. Get the weekly newsletter. Also, while you're there, check out some of our partners. We've got some pretty sweet deals going on for you. Obviously, FlowTrade. There's a free 7-day trial of FlowTrade where you can hop in the Discord with us and ask us questions and learn the system, right? Also, predicted trades, right? They've got a great offer for our members, which reminds me, I have to update our referral link there. You get 10% off of their services. Hey, now, we'll start doing a little bit more in-depth videos on them if you're looking for some very specific options targets. If you're looking for not alerts, but if you're looking for some specific options targets, when to enter, when to exit, great service that they provide there. And then the B4 indicator, we've got a strategic partnership with them. These 3 partners, right, are all specialized in their areas, right? They all do a very good job with what they do. And guess what? They all work hand in hand. We have created the most, I don't know, we've created a killer system here. We've created, well, I can't even say that. Just because of the algorithm issues, we have created a phenomenal package, right? We're creating a system, a trading system that gives you everything that you could need to be successful, right? As well as the support. So we'll see y'all. I'll be doing the weekend watch list tomorrow, and happy Super Bowl. Oh, I can't even say it. Dang it. Happy Super Sunday, right? Happy game day. The big game, right? I just don't want to get hit with anything, right? Signing off. Please click the like button on your way out the door, subscribe, and turn on those notifications so you get notified whenever we put out those new videos. See you soon. Bye. Have a good day.